two things. You have two sources of collection of data, secondary data, not primary data. Okay, primary data you visit yourself and you can collect data. One is published source, someone who published it, and someone who is not publishing it. Okay, published and unpublished source. So, ma'am, what are published source? Some of the published source of secondary data are first government publications, right? So, ministers of the central and state government in India publish a variety of statistics as their routine activity. As these are published by the government, data are fairly reliable. Some of the notable government publications on statistics are Statistical Abstract of India, Annual Survey of Industries, Agricultural, Statistic of India, Report of Currency and Banking, Labor Gazette, Reserve Bank of India Bulletin. Okay, so what you people will write, instead of writing so many examples, you can simply write one or two examples. So for I think for you, it will be easy to remember this Reserve Bank of India Bulletin. Bulletin is basically the bullet points. Okay, or you can write Report on Currency and Banking. Whatever you feel like, just write two examples. Whatever you feel like are easy for you to remember. Okay, from here you can use anything. So first is published sources, government publication. Government usually prepares the report, they publish it, right? That this is the health index, this is the annual survey of industry, this is the agricultural report, like this. So if you want to collect data, you will just visit the government website and you will collect the data. Okay. Now second is semi-government publication. So semi-government bodies such as municipality and metropolitan council publish data relating to education, health, birth and death. These data are also fairly reliable and useful. Okay, so semi-government means they are some partially controlled by the government, not fully controlled. So they publish data related to education, health, birth and death. Okay, here you have to write everything. Next, report of committee and the committees and commission. Okay, committees and commission appointed by the government also furnish a lot of statistical information in the report. For example, this is a government, they have organized a health committee. Okay, they have organized a maybe you can say Niti Aayog. They are the committees they are on, right? So they also publish it. Example, Finance Commission, Monopoly Commission, Planning Commission are some of the notable commission in India which supply detailed statistical information in the report. So you can write example, Finance Commission, Monopoly Commission, like this. Then publication of trade association. The association which are related to trade, they also present a report. What was the export thing? What was the import thing? Right? The export for this year was this, the import of this year was this, like this. So some of the big trade association through their statistical and research division collect and publish on the publish data on various aspects of trading activity. For example, Sugar Mill Association published information regarding to sugar mill in India. Right, so these association also publish the data. For example, if I have cotton industry, so I will publish the data related to cotton. Okay, now publications of research institutions. So various universities and research institutions publish information as regarding of their research activities. In India, for example, Indian Statistical Institute, National Council of Applied Economic Research publish a variety of statistical data as a regular feature. So basically they prepare their according data. For example, I'll just give you all the economic status of the country. I'm the Statistical Institute, so statistical data related to every field I will be presenting you. So these are the research institutions. They do research and then they publish their data. Then journals and papers. So there are newspapers and all that, the Economics Times, the Commerce, the Fact of You. So they basically also present their monthly magazine, weekly magazine, and there they are giving you the data, right? Then publication of research scholars, individual scholar. For example, I am a scholar. So what I will do, I will research on particular field and then I will publish a data. Okay, so this also takes place. Okay, so publications of research scholars. Then international publication. International publication like international organizations such as UNO, IMF, World Bank, ILO, and foreign governments also publish a lot of statistical information. They are used as secondary source. So international organization means like World Bank. World Bank, what he did, World Bank basically gave money to everyone. So he is presenting data related to funds. UNO, foreign governance, and all that. So they are like, if I'm related to trade, I will publish the WTO. I will publish the data related to trade, export and import. If I'm related to ILO, International Labor Organization, so I will publish the data related to labors, like how many people are employed, unemployed, like this. So these are some published data, published sources from where you will be collecting data. Okay, from they are highly reliable because they are usually under the government control and semi-government, right? So in exam hall, they can directly give you the question, right? What are the two main sources of secondary data to collect secondary data? So there are two, one is published and one is unpublished. So if they are giving you the question for 4 marks, so you can write published And from here you can just write, instead of writing 8, right, you can only mention 4. Okay, but here you have to write all the 8, because so that you can remember it for longer period of time, right? And then the unpublished are, they are there are some unpublished secondary data as well. These data are collected by the government organization and others, generally for their self or office record, right? So the published one, which they usually they are collecting the data and then they are making their website, you can visit, anyone can visit with their website and they can collect the data. Okay, but unpublished, like for example, I wanted the day, you have a class, maybe 11th B. Okay, so what I did, I made a list for this class, how many girls are there, how many boys are there. This is what I am making it for myself. So I will not publish this in newspaper, right? That okay, this is a school and these are the students. Definitely not. Okay, so if someone is recording it for their use, then it is unpublished. These data are not published. These unpublished numerical information, however, be used for as a secondary data. But if, for example, you want a list of the class, okay, what you will do, you will visit me and you will collect the data. So it is, for you, it is a secondary data. For me, it was a primary data because I collected the data on my own. But for you, it is a secondary data because you took that data from me. Clear? No, not clear. Clear?
Yes, teacher, is clear.
Okay. So you will write this. You will write sources of secondary data. Then you will make it like this. Put the heading collection of secondary data. Then make it sources of secondary data, published source and unpublished source. Then you will start from published source. Okay. Very, very important question. One of the important question of this chapter.
Teacher, can you scroll down a little bit?
Everyone done the first part, government publications?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, ma'am.
Girls done?
Yes, teacher, I'm done.
Others?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's just start. Okay. Let's just start with this. See, precautions in the use of secondary data, right? So, see, whenever you are using secondary data, right, if you are taking it from someone, you have to be very cautious, right? Because maybe I am taking the, taking the data from Dina, right? And she has done some mistakes. So, if I'll copy and paste, then of course the mistake she did, I'll also repeat it, right? So, you have to take some precautions in the use of secondary data. Why in the use of secondary data? Because why not in the primary data? Because primary data you are collecting it by yourself, right? So there are very less chances that something will be wrong, but in secondary data there are high chances that things can be wrong. So first, in order to access the reliability, suitability and adequacy of the data, the following points must be kept in mind. First, the ability of collection of organization. One should check the ability of the organization which is initially collected the data. Okay, so you should check the ability. For example, that's a government organization or the public organization, you can check the remarks and everything so that you can use the data from that website. Then objective and scope. See, whatever, for example, if you are collecting the data for literacy and the organization collected the data for maybe mortality rate or the fertility rate. So of course, both the objective are different, right? So you cannot use that data because the object and scopes are not same, right? One should note that objective of the collecting data as well as the scope of investigation. Data should be used only if the objective and the scope of the study are undertaken earlier match with the objective and scope of the present data. Clear? So you will write it from here. You will not write the from here. You will write. Okay. Then method of collection. See, method of collection of the data by the organized original investigator should not also be noted. The method adopted must be matched the measure. So the method, for example, the method which the person who collected the data first used should match with the nature of investigation, whatever investigation you are doing. Okay. Then time and condition of the collection. See, for example, you are collecting the data of death rates. Okay. And over here, you wrote death rate, and during Corona period time, the death rate was 80% in India, right? Why? Because it is not about India; it's about all over the world. The death rate was really, you can say, multiple times high, right? So now the question is, ma'am, why it was multiple times high? And over here, you wrote that death rate is 80% in India. When in like today is 2022, so when I'm using the data, I'm writing that death rate is 80%, but actual death rate is 20% now, right? So time and condition of collection of data should be mentioned, that you collected the data during the corona time and that was a pandemic time, because of that the death rate was high. You should mention it, right? For example, I collected the data in 2020, right? And that was a corona period, right? So I wrote over there that it was 80%. But if you are taking the data from me of death rate, but you are not checking the time and condition of the collection, then of course your whatever conclusion you will be making, it will be wrong. Why? Because my condition and my time period was different, and your condition and your time period are different. Clear? Clear? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then definition of the unit. One should also make sure that the unit of measurement should be used in the initial collection of data are same as adopted in the present study. Okay. So for example, if you collected the data in centimeter, and now I'm writing that you wrote 10, 20, 30, and over here I'm collecting the data in meters, and I'm also writing 10, 20. So of course it will be wrong. So one should make sure that unit of measurement which is used by the first person, like the secondary source person, are matching to the present situation. Then accuracy. Accuracy of the data should also be checked. If the available data do not conform to the required degree of accuracy, they should be discarded. Okay, so what you will write? You will write here. So if you will check accuracy, if the you are collecting the data from him, and if the accuracy rate is not good, then you will reject the data. You will not be you will not use that data. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hmm. So what you will do today, I will be giving you homework. Okay, just write it down, then I'll give you. Okay, I'll today give you some homework. You will take the screenshot because today we'll just finish off this chapter so that we can start the new chapter. Okay, so you will write this. You will write hashtag. And in order to access the reliability, suitability, and adequacy of the data, the following point must be kept in mind. And then you can take the screenshot. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is your homework. Okay, it should not be that you have taken screenshot and you have not written in the notebook. You have to write it because this is one of the important topics. Okay, now coming to the next thing. See, two important sources of secondary data: Census of India and Report of Publication of National. These are the two important sources. If I'll ask you what are the two important sources, you will be saying unpublished and published, right? But these are important sources of secondary data, right? Census of India and Report of Publication of National Sample Survey. These are the important. So sometimes what you can, from here you can get a note, that write a note on Census of India or report and publication, or they can, if they will ask you what are the two important sources, that means remember that they are asking you about these two only, not unpublished and published. Okay, so ma'am, what is Census of India? Census of India is decimal publication of the Government of India. It is published by the Registrar General and Census Commission, India. It is very comprehensive source of secondary data. It relay the population size and various aspects of demographic changes in India. Broadly, it includes statistical information on the following parameter. So what you will write, Census of India is basically related to the population. Okay, so if from Census of India, what type of data you collect? So first of all, you will write Census of India is a decimal publication of Government of India. Okay, it is published by Registrar General. You can even get the one marker that who published the Census of India and Census Commission of India. Okay, clear? Then you will write this. Broadly, it includes statistical information on following parameters: size and growth rate of distribution of population in India, population projection, density of population, sex composition of population, state of literacy. Clear? So if you want to collect data related to these topics, then you should visit the census website. Clear? Right? And information on these parameters related to the country as a whole as well as different states. So for example, in India you have different states, right? So overall country you will get that total density population of India is this. Plus if you want to get the individual data, like for Maharashtra, for UK, Uttarakhand, for Tamil Nadu, for Kerala, like this, for Delhi, so you will also get the state wise data. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you will first take the screenshot from here. Two important sources, take it. I have already marked it, but you have to write, okay? From here to here and from here. Done?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Now take this. Here you have to write, and then from here to till here. Done?
Done. Yeah.
Okay. Now coming to the second one, which is your report and publication of National Sample Survey Office. So you first of all remember this full form as well. Okay. NSSO is basically National Sample Survey Office. Clear? So now basically what happened, first of all, ma'am, what is this National Sample Survey Office? So NSSO is a government organization under Ministry of Statistic and Program Implementation. This organization conducts regular sample survey to collect basic statistical info related to variety of economic activity in rural as well as urban parts of the country. Clear? Broadly, reports and publication of NSSO statistical information on following. So if you want to get report on land and livestock holding, household condition and migration of with specific emphasis on slum dweller, employment and unemployment status in India, consumer expenditure in India, including level and pattern of consumer expenditure of diverse categories of the people, sources of household in India, right? So you should go for this. But if you want to collect data related to this population and all population density, sex composition, and all that, you should go to Census of India, the census report. But if you want to collect data related to this, you should go for NSSO report. Clear? So you will take a screenshot for this. So I've already marked from here to here. You will write from here to here, then from here till here. Okay? You can take.
Done, teacher.
Everyone done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So basically we are done with the chapter. So in coming to the next class, what you will do, you will learn this chapter. You have a gap tomorrow and Monday. You have 2 days gap. That's why I've given you the homework, right? Sunday and Monday.